You see lots of faces, lots of necks, and if you've had a facial with me, you know we work a lot from the neck down, and if I could, I'd just work the whole body actually. So I'm just gonna share some examples of where there's a lot of tension for many people, especially just in how our lives are now and how that contributes to aging, premature, or some of those things that we don't want, but we then are looking for more intensive treatments to help with. So I'm going to show you also some little quick moves you can do just for yourself. This will help not only your skin, but will help your brain circulation, your vision, your mental clarity, your mood, so many things. Okay, so what we've got tech neck going on for everyone. Or I was a breastfeeding mom and I have this really bad habit of going like this. So same as tech neck. If you have a hump happening here at C7, the base of your cervical spine, it's very common. It's like this, or I even see like this far. Your clavicle needs help. So there's a lot of tension happening around the clavicle if you've got this hump happening, and we need to open the chest. So one little thing you could do is this first knuckle here. You can take that along underneath the clavicle and do this slow opening, kind of pulling massage. You can hold in the middle, do one side. And we're not really ever pushing with any of these. What we're doing is we're allowing for a sinking to happen and allowing our tissue to move when it's ready. All right, so you've got that you can do. That will start to loosen this up, open this up, because what we're going for, we're not going for a push your shoulders back and down, because that's engaging other things in an overly tense way. What we're going for is an outward of the clavicle kind of going outwards instead of this kind of like up V that's really common. Or kind of, I mean, we all have our own body set up, but at least the feeling of going outwards. And for our back, we want the scapula, the traps, the neck. We want the neck to have some agency of its own, like it's actually becoming so like part of this like turtle thing that we're doing, that the muscles in the back are taking on things they're not able to support, and they're stretching beyond their capacity, and things are shortening here. I mean, I could barely breathe when I'm like in this position. And also we're losing, there's like a sense of courage that comes with standing tall and through that communication. So we don't want to be forcing things. We want to essentially give our neck some agency where it's a little bit able to stand on its own again. So just kind of some length in there, just that experience alone of like, can I even feel my neck separate from my traps? As well as versus forcing my shoulders back and down, can I almost allow for a gentle like draping, a sense of all the muscles kind of just draping down my back like a silk cape or something. They're there, supported. We don't need to always actively engage our muscles to support us. There's internal support within the fascia once it's aligned and not being stressed constantly, that actually will hold us up without so much effort. So you can already see I kind of look taller, I have a good jawline, my clavicle's visible. There's not a lot of puffiness happening versus this, which gives me neck wrinkles, and like, yeah, those automatically start to go away. All right, so that's one, opening up the clavicle. I talked a bit about traps. So these can be, you might think you know where they are, but if you can kind of sense in here, this kind of big juicy muscle, you'll see there's like the neckline and then the trap. It connects all the way up into the back of the skull. It connects down to those big scapulas on the back of our shoulder blades. So what I like to do is kind of gather some of that back trap and some of the front here and just give it a squeeze. Nothing too hard or forceful. Again, we're bringing blood flow and support so that it can start to release on its own a little bit. And we're always thinking, from me, always thinking of the fascia, not just the muscle, which means we have to kind of move slowly and patiently, which is very healing for us. Okay, so clavicle trap. We've got our sheet muscle, the platysma, that they say only goes up to here. They're finding it further up the face and near the brows. So it's going to be one of those ones that's continuously discovered more as they do more fascial research. In surgery, it's one of the ones where they get rid of banding. So I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to do some of my habitual forward stuff that we're all kind of doing. These are bands. Yeah, so yeah, these are the things that start to bring creping, lack of blood flow. It's a very thin muscle. It's very easily impacted, kind of like the eye area. And so just some love to this. We want to go below the clavicle. You could do one side at a time or do two. And then you want to kind of engage it and lean back. You'll feel it stretching all the way up here. Kind of like doing both sides separate. Yeah, but that's something that you want to be stretching out, especially if you have this tendency, because it's just getting destroyed. And that's a hard one to fix. So the more that you can start to release some of that, and you'll feel it up here in your jaw, which is where we're going to talk about next. So you've got here, you've got your jaw corner. There's a lot of muscles here, but we're just going over some key ones and a lot of fascial connections and so many other juicy things. You've got the corner jaw. There's kind of like a square. That's that big chewing muscle that most people, it's hard on. And then you've got the cheekbone and kind of this this muscle structure that you can access from here that goes back like this. So what you can do is use a thumb for support, kind of tilt your head, and again, allow the finger to sink in. This is under the cheekbone, and just kind of allow over time. It'll take a little bit of time to soften, and just kind of re-lengthen this area. So this is the diagonal, and then you start a little bit lower because we're not going on the cheek here for that square chewing muscle. Square chewing muscle down, zygomatic arch, allow sinking and pulling. You're going to feel just from working these certain areas that you have more blood flow, you're taller, you can actually feel your neck separate from like your back muscles. You'll have clearer vision. You'll start to either improve signs of aging on the neck, signs of tension really is what they are, signs of inflammation, stagnation. You'll start to improve that, and you'll start to improve the back of the neck as well, which this day and age is a big concern of mine for everyone. So I hope these are really easy to implement just in the morning. It will wake you up and it will support your skin health. So yeah, let me know if you try them.